Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. Have we traveled the world for past, present, and future stars? Hey, look, we got guests from all across the United States, and we're going to bring them in for a minute, but we're going to catch up some things that are happening in the world of boxing. Showtime, era of 37 years, have did their last fight last weekend, and what a great time it was. Showtime, 37 years, and I met Dave Dinkins and them who were producers of the show on Showtime, and they informed me that I had appeared over 100 times on Showtime's box championship boxing with all of those great champions. Man, what
Wow.
an era soon passed. And with HBO shutting down after 45 years, it's going to be greatly missed. And with today, a great fight card over there in Saudi Arabia with Anthony Joshua and Dante Wilder main events leading, and with Bevo. But without letting our guests wait too long, we have Henry Discombobulating, as he corrected me, Jones. He's a ring announcer. He's announced on all the major networks and still doing great community work all over the country. And we want to congratulate you. Last night, it's to my understanding, you got a Lifetime Achievement Award from the President of the United States. Congratulations.
I did, and here it is right here. And it was arranged by your good friend, Dr. Khalila Ali, Muhammad Ali's first wife. When I met her at the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame induction ceremony back in October, she was impressed with me, and she said she certainly didn't know that there were never any black ring announcers of prominence in the entire history of boxing. She said, I need to do something for you. And this is what she did. So kudos. And, I really appreciate her intervening like that. Hopefully it opens up some more eyes in boxing so that I can do some future fights. Now, one other thing is that you mentioned that Showtime is over for all intent and purposes, but I just got word yesterday they're going to try one more show box card, and it will be in D.C., Maryland area, and yours truly will be the ring announcer for it in March. So praise God for that.
They're going to open it back up after announcing that it was all over. Boy, isn't that something? Well, money, congratulations, man. For Maryland.
Thank you. Money talks. Everything else walks.
Well, they can say whatever they want about Don King. When he left the networks, they come tumbling down. He wasn't as bad as what everybody thinks he was. And just recently, greetings to everyone around the world, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's. But Don King, just recently on his own streaming platform, DonKingWW.com, he streamed a fight for free down there in Florida, gave people an early Christmas gift. So Don King's right in the hunt. But Henry mentioned Don King. I think you and him got something in common. I think that was one of your first ones that you did.
I did. And matter of fact, what else we have in common is that I graduated from the oldest historically black college university in the South, Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Don King and Evander Holyfield were conferred honorary doctorate degrees from Shaw University. Small world. And you're in Raleigh.
Yes, it is.
And you're in Raleigh. So we're going to try to do something on behalf of Shaw University in 2024. So Aaron, you got to be present. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. But Discombobulating Jones, you do a lot of community work up in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
We're going to bring our next guest in from that community. You were born and raised, my understanding, in that Rochester area.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that. And these people are part of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. Larry, who's now the president, he said, man, bring these guys on the show and give them my opportunity that they may not get any others. Speak a little bit about that community, and I'll bring them in.
Well, my pleasure and honor. You know, Rochester has a rich boxing of history, a history of boxing rather that people don't know about. It goes all the way back to Willie the Worm Monroe, who fought Marvin Hagler and beat Marvin Hagler. He got crushed in the rematch. Let's be perfectly honest about it. But he's one of the few that defeated Marvin Hagler. And after him, his grandson and Willie L. Mongoose Monroe Jr.,
right,
who's a middleweight champion from Rochester. He's still campaigning. He's carrying the torch. Before him, of course, was Push-Up Frazier and Rochester only world champion Charles the Natural Murray. Nobody did it better. And so this new generation coming behind them with Dustin and Algeria, I'm just proud of them, and we certainly will be supporting them. And of course, I'm representing Rochester everywhere I go. So, you know, we're going to continue this thing forward and put Rochester back on the map for its prominence that it used to enjoy.
Okay. Jason Jimenez, I hope I'm saying everything right. A trainer, MMA, boxing. Your son, Dustin, is a 6-time world champion, has 120 some amateur fights. Give the spiel of the two people that you bring on the show, man, your son and Algeria. Talk a little bit about both of them, and then we'll talk to them, Justin. Jason.
Well, you know, Rochester, like Henry was saying, Rochester has a big history and a lot of talent. And since we would say Charles and Willie Monroe Jr., now this next generation that we have coming up is a very strong group. Algeria is the first girl to win the Golden Gloves in history, right? Algeria.
Wow.
Yep.
Congratulations.
The first one today. It's a very, very big milestone.
Algeria. That's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, and Dustin is the first in Rochester since those guys too to accomplish what he's accomplished with being a 6-time national champion and getting the call up to the Team USA camp and whatnot. So both of them got to
congratulations, man.
Both of them getting to compete in the trials too.
So mentioned Willie the Worm Monroe. I'm gonna give you a little tip about something. In Willie Monroe, on the tail end of his career, I trained him, Willie the Worm, and he told me back then. He said this was in the late 70s. He said, when you train me, you're going to be a great trainer, and Willie the Worm hit it dead smack on the button. When I was assistant trainer, when Eddie Mustafa was Muhammad was fighting for the title, Marvin Johnson. Willie the Worm, we used him as a sparring partner, and I worked with Willie then. So, man, a lot of great history flying along. But let's bring Dustin in. Dustin Jimenez, 6 times national champion, 100 and some amateur fight, man. Congratulations to all your success. And let me tell you what, to accomplish that is something amazing, man. Talk about what does your father mean? What does Rochester and all of that mean to you?
Well, I know a lot of people from Rochester that once they kind of make it big, they kind of leave Rochester in the past because they don't want to be associated with it no more and stuff. And I don't know if I want to do that because there's not a lot of people that are able to make it out of Rochester and become something that they want to be. And my dad, he means a lot to me because he's trained me my whole time boxing. He's always trained me. And especially since 2020 and everything shut down for COVID and stuff like that, it was really just me and him, even in the backyard, working out and training for tournaments, stuff like that, that ended up getting canceled. And finally, we found a gym once gyms started opening back up. And really, especially since 2020, it's just been me and him training for all these tournaments. And that's when really everything started. Everything started coming together, and I was able to take some tournaments home and take some nationals home and stuff like that. So definitely the last 3 years, 4 years has been very important, and I've dedicated a lot of time and hard work, and he has too. And when it comes to traveling and stuff like that, a lot of people have helped us out trying to travel because they saw the hard work that we were putting in, and I just appreciate everybody, and I appreciate everything he does for me.
Oh, beautiful. But you always, you always save one of the great ones for last. In Algeria Johnson, let me tell you, you are something special. And this is why I saved you last before we begin to mix our conversations all up. Number one, for the things that you have accomplished, I want to say to you, congratulations. It's hard work, and you have proved to work hard to get where you're at. The sky's the limit for you. They were telling me you're probably one of the most talented, colorful fighters there is, and there's a lot more to come from you. Talk about your journey, about you starting fighting at 15 years old, and tell me, how did you get started? And somebody as beautiful as you, well, why did you get started with looking all kind of beautiful as you are? Come on with it.
Okay, so I started boxing at 15, and really, like, at first I was playing, I was doing wrestling in high school, and I was playing on the football team, but I had got into like a fight in school, and it had like went viral and everything. And so my family, because I was living in North Carolina at the time, so all my family and stuff was calling. My mom was like, "You need to put that girl in boxing or something. Like, she's dangerous." And it was like more so I was like I was taking my anger, like when people mess with me in school, the way I dealt with everything was fighting. That was the way I handled everything. So after I had gotten into like a fight at school, my mom put me in boxing, and the first day I had went to the gym, I like fell in love with it. And I started going every day, and I just knew that was something I really wanted to do because I was naturally good at it, and I actually loved it.
Wow. So you have 30 fights, am I correct?
29 fights. I had looked. I got
29 fights. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Man, 29 fights. And both of you are just coming off the Nationals was what, 2 weeks ago, a week ago or something like that? Talk a little bit about that experience for you.
I made it to the semifinals, and I lost against the number 1 seed. It was good. It was a good experience, and I learned a lot from the win and also from the loss. And after I lost, I wasn't even upset. Usually if I take an L, I'll be mad. But I wasn't. The reason why I wasn't mad is because I kind of see why I lost, and I think I made it a close fight. So I left it in the judge's hand. But I also was in there with someone with way more experience, and I kind of showed that I kind of showed and exposed who she is as well, because for her to be the number 1 seed, I think I made her look like she wasn't the number 1. But I'll say it was a good experience, and I learned a lot from
Well,
that.
they're telling me is that you're a very colorful fighter, and soon, maybe next year, they're telling me is that you're going to be you're going to be number 1. You're going to be a national champ, and hopefully they were telling me is that you're going to make the Olympic team one day, and you're going to medal a gold medal. Most likely, they just said that she just got to keep working hard and she's one of the leading fighters that the United States is going to have. And that's why we're saying that, I wanted to talk to you personally to just tell you, say, look, dreams only come true if you believe that they do. It's hard work. It's hard work. It's hard work.
That's right.
And when you have a trial and a tribulation, like you're going to get to the next level, what I'm telling you, young lady, is double your effort. Mm-hmm. Double everything that you do. Get in better shape. Keep the right frame of mind. Start eating right if you haven't been eating right. Mm-hmm. Those little things. Work on throwing your jab better. Work on putting your different combinations better. Your defense, your ring generalship, how you move around in the ring and things like this. This will propel you into that next step you need to be champion and to represent the United States and become champion. Okay? Yep. This is what I wanted to tell you because they've been telling me you're very, very talented and you're very, very colorful. And I think that you'll make it. We'll look here in the chat room. Paul is saying, hello, Aaron. Good day, sir, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. So Paul's saying that. And Nichelle, our tech, she's saying in the chat room, man, I love it. Congratulate Mr. Jones for your accomplishment. Thank you. Paul is saying, true for all of us. He's saying true for all of us. And Nichelle is saying happy holidays to Paul and everybody. And Willie the Worm, Nichelle is saying, yes, my dad always talks about Willie the Worm is because he worked in their union. He was a union rep, Willie the Worm, after he hung his gloves up. So, man, the chat room is being lit up. There's so many comments that are in here. Let me see. Nichelle, our tech says, that's right, Dustin. You're represented, and I understand. I am from Camden, New Jersey, and good thing come to those in your city. So congratulations, Dustin. People in Algeria, they're saying about you. Congratulations to you and everything. So this is good, man. Y'all have the chat room lit up like the 4th of July. So discombobulating.
Yes, sir.
Let's get back to you. What do you see in the future of boxing with this great fight tonight? You want to talk a little bit about that?
I do. This is a very significant triple header tonight, especially with Deontay Wilder's comeback. I firmly believe that he can become world champion again. There's no mistake, and he has that one-hitter quitter power. He got exposed, let's be perfectly honest, against Tyson Fury. But then again, nobody has beaten Tyson Fury. So we got to give him his props for that, too. And I certainly believe Deontay is on a quest to become world champion again. Now, it's an X factor, of course. He was champ. He can become champ again. And the biggest fight that can be made really would be Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury over in the UK in Wembley Stadium in front of 100,000. So Deontay wants to get into those sweepstakes. Now, the other fighter on the card, Dimitri Bivol, he beat Canelo, if you remember.
Yes, he did.
No small feat in itself. I was shocked, and usually I'm not shocked because I kind of know how fights are going to go because, Aaron, you and I have been watching these things for 50 years. So we not only know who's going to win, we kind of know how they're going to win. That one took me completely by surprise. So I got to give Bivol his props, too. Now, his sweepstake money will be against David. What's David's last name that just won?
Benavidez.
Yes, sir. I'm high on him. I'm very high on him. So it could be Bivol and Benavidez or Benavidez and the older Charlo brother. So the future is bright for boxing once again, man. So I'm just thankful to God that I'm still around after 35 years to see all of this. You know,
Still
it's
around,
no,
still doing it, still walking it, and still talking it, man. What a
yes,
pleasure.
sir. Yes, sir.
Um, Jason, let's talk to you, man. What do you feel about tonight fight?
I like the matchups. I think that, as from my standpoint, I watch more like technical aspect, and I'm never really pulling for either corner. It's for me, it's always learning every single time I'm watching a fight. But yeah, definitely Deontay Wilder with that one hitter, man. He impresses me. I'm a fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like him and Anthony Joshua. I liked him a lot. I think that I think he's kind of been exposed. We got to see if he's going to be able to take a punch against any one of these guys.
Yeah.
Especially if he comes together with Tyson Fury. I kind of feel like I know how that would end up. But yeah, exciting to see. I'll be watching tonight for sure.
Yeah, Dustin, how about you? What do you feel about tonight's fight over there in Saudi Arabia? Really, today's fight, because in a little bit over there, the fight's going to be starting what we're talking about. So give us your viewpoint.
I don't know. I like Deontay Wilder. I like his power, but I just don't feel like he's really a boxer. I've been seeing him train a little bit more recently, and he's working on actually boxing and sticking his jab and stuff like that. But I don't know, like he was like 40-0, like all knockouts, something like that. Like it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching all of his fights, and he was just kind of, I don't know. His power impressed me, but his boxing skill and IQ didn't really impress me too much.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something. In boxing, is that the guys that can knock a guy out with one shot. I had many guys that can do that. They're dangerous. Like I all the time say coming up is that I try to keep my guys away from guys that can clip you with one shot, because you can be winning the whole fight and they just clip you. They see that opening and they clip you, hit it on the one spot, and out you go. You only fight those type of guys when you had to. And Deontay Wilder, with great name fighters that were coming along, that was his problem. So, Jazeera, what do you think about tonight's fights over in Saudi Arabia?
I'm kind of neutral, but if I had to pick somebody, I'll pick Deontay Wilder, because I do like his style. I like people that try to get people out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's the no question. That's the way to go. A middleweight fighter I used to train, Julian Jackson.
Oh.
He was that type of one guy, just paralyzing guys. And he'll create the opening and hit a guy one shot, boy, crippling. And that's why I'll tell you a funny story. Me and Carl King, we were at Caesar's Palace out by the pool. And we were out there talking to Ray Leonard, trying to get him to fight Julian Jackson, because, after Julian knocked Terry Norris out in Atlantic City with that shot on the Wide World of Sports, we were trying to get Sugar Ray Leonard to fight him. And Sugar Ray Leonard told me and Carl out by the pool in Caesar's Palace, he says, "Look, man, you guys are crazy." He said, "I ain't never fighting Julian Jackson. I ain't going to be winning the whole fight." And he clipped me with one, and out I go. He said, "That ain't happening." He said, "I don't give a crap how much money you got."
That's right.
So we understand with the thing about Wilder, that punching power that he has is phenomenal. And he's a counter puncher, and he waits. That's what not makes him an exciting fighter. Like Dustin said, he don't set the science and the technique up to create that one shot. He sits and lays back. He's a great counter puncher, and he waits for that opening to land that one big bomb. And he has been getting
for you, Snow. I got a trivia question for all of you. Who in the lightweight division is that same type of fighter today?
Tank.
Yes.
Tank. Yeah.
Yes. He gets outboxed, but then that one mistake you make, that's you. You go.
Yeah, he's going. Tank is like that. You know what I mean? when you have guys like that, they can be dull for a moment, and with the one shot, create massive excitement from that one shot. So let's go through some stuff here. We'll start with Algeria. Look, what's in the future for you? Your fights and things like that. What's in the future for you?
Okay, so what's in the future for me? I'm thinking about still staying in the amateurs for at least like another year, just to get, you know, some more nationals under my belt, and also to get more experience. I'm not in a rush to go pro. So I feel like this is like, I'm 22 now, but I don't want to be amateur like forever. But I do want another year in the amateurs just to get some more national wins under my belt, and also, you know, to get more experience. Like, I don't want to just rush into pros and just, you know, just
Okay.
fight. So I actually want to make noise, and then when the time is right, then go pro. But it's
Rise
not
to
my
the
timing, it's
occasion.
God's timing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. How about you, Dustin? What's your future plan? 6 times national champs. You know, you and your father can answer this question. You know, whoever wants to go first. What's in your plan?
Well, soon, soon. Because I just turned 18. Like, that last tournament I went to, my first elite tournament. I was the youngest. I was the youngest fighter in the entire Olympic trials. 18
Wow.
years and 1 month. So this year
Wow.
coming up, we have the Golden Gloves. I fought in the Golden Gloves for the last like 2 years, but I was too young to go to the nationals. So this year I'm old enough, and we're gonna fight in the States, and hopefully we'll make it to the nationals. I'm gonna be staying amateur. I want to turn pro eventually, of course, but you know, like I said, I'm young, so I have time, and we're just gonna talk about it and see what happens. But for the most part, we do want to try and go and get back on, you know, the USA team, head back to the camps and train out in Colorado and stuff like that. But next year, I think in February is our first qualifier for the Golden Gloves team. So that's the next main thing that we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, your father, let's see what he has to say about your career and see how they meet up. What do you think, Dad?
Yeah, well, you know, my program at the gym is an Olympic style program. And there's a lot of politics, USA boxing, but I believe in the system. I believe in the in the process with that. I think that if the time is put in, I think that you know, my angle is always to try to get some of the kids to make it to the Olympics and get the recognition in the amateurs. You know, they're building their resume. You know, you become the best in the nation, and then try to become the best in the world. So I like the process of becoming number one here, possibly making the team, and then getting that international experience. You know, without having to.
One thing about the top end of being an amateur, it gives you the international experience that you need to turn pro, and that's why so many professional fighters that entered into the Olympic game are the top echelon money winners in the sport, is because being a good amateur traveling the world against the competition, most of the time you see the same people that you meet internationally when you were coming along. As you turn pro, you meet up with them same people on the top echelon of pros. So yes, I think y'all are all making the right decision about all your thoughts of staying in the amateurs, because both of you are young, and you get your experience, and then once you turn pro, you're a well-oiled machine and your tools are sharp. You can handle the developmental stage of that what pros bring, you know. And we developed a lot of guys that were in the Olympic program. We developed them to turn them to be world champion, and y'all are hitting it right on the head what you're doing. what I have to say to y'all is just keep up the great work that you're doing with in your programs, because it's sure enough showing, it's sure enough paying off. You don't make it as the top amateurs and being champion without hard work. And y'all are doing that. And also the coaches, man, to take young people and don't get them to hone their skills, to get them to stay focused and disciplined in this age is a tough thing to do. And you got some disciplined fighters here. That's why they're making it to that level. But to give you some insight, Anthony Joshua, 251 pounds at the weigh-in. And I want to hear all of y'all view. And Dante Wilder weighed 213 pounds. And his opponent, Parker, weighed 245 pounds. And Wallen, who Anthony Joshua was fighting, he weighed 238. What do you think about these weights? And do you think it'll make any difference?
Well, let me say this, because of that very fact that they're going to a new classification for weights.
Yes, they are.
Super cruiserweight, which is, of course, heavier than light heavy, but not as heavy as a true heavyweight. And I think Deontay Wilder would fit right in there, you know, as a super cruiserweight type, because 213 is pretty light. Now, Ali, as you know, was about 215.
That's correct.
Athletic. Deontay's athletic too. I've seen him play basketball. He can move, you know,
right.
And he's of course got that power. And as Algeria said, or Dustin said, not a very good boxer. But with power like that, you don't have to be a very good boxer. You just need to be there and capitalize on your opponent's mistake. Those weights are all over the place, man. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out tonight. Wow.
Yeah, I'm interested how it's going to turn out with Dante Wilder. You know, with his punching power, it ain't the size that you would win or you fail. It's the size of the fight that you got in your heart. At that weight, he can clip. You know, the way he punches, he clip the best of them, and he clipped Tyson Fury. You know, each fight he had Tyson Fury down on the deck. He just couldn't keep him down. You know, and it says something about Tyson Fury, how he can come. You know, maybe all of those mental problems that he had or he was going through enables him to take a shot like that. No one knows the character that's inside of a person, but he did have Tyson Fury down. He just couldn't keep him down, and Tyson Fury was beating the count somehow, some way, with fire and desire, you know, to say some things about him. But the fight that I would really like to see, if both of them can win tonight, is Anthony Joshua and Dante Wilder, with Anthony Joshua being a two-time heavyweight champion, beating one of the Klitschko brothers to win the championship, to win that, and then come back to beat John Luisa, somebody that he lost to, got knocked out by, and then boxed his way on to win the title. I think with Dante Wilder being a former heavyweight champion, them two former heavyweight champions to meet up in a big finale, I think it's a big pay-per-view event, provided they can get by tonight if both of them can win. How do y'all feel about that?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
And we need the biggest fights the public wants to see. You know, don't keep giving us, you know, anything. I remember on HBO one night, Larry Merchant said, "Usually we bring you good fights. Tonight we brought you trash." He was honest about it.
Why do you think they call it championship boxing, with great fights lingering in the air, with 23 coming on the close? I'm going to ask the amateurs, because they watch professional boxing. Who do you think should be fighter of the year? And we'll start with you, Henry. Who you think?
Wow. Fighter of the year?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know, I'm gonna have to go with Devin Haney. for what he accomplished. And I mean, to go over to Australia twice to beat the champ, that tells me a lot. That tells me a lot. Now, I don't know what's going to happen going forward with him, you know, because I have my doubts about it when he meet up with certain people. But for 2023, he did great.
Dustin, who do you think?
I don't know about Devin Haney.
Okay, who do you think? This is wide open. Say who you think. It's what it's all about.
I think that he just needs to get his resume up a little bit more before he starts getting into, you know, big fights. But I feel like Shakur Stevenson should be fighter of the year, or maybe Tank. But I wouldn't say Tank because he hasn't fought enough this year. He only fought like 2 times, maybe 3 times. So
okay,
Shakur, a lot of people after his last fight were saying all this like just crazy stuff. One fight, he had one fight, and he still won the fight. Just a bad fighter was saying he was running and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like he beats anybody in the lightweight division, and I think the best fight in the lightweight division would be him and Tank. That's the only fight that I'm not completely sure about. But everybody else, I think Shakur takes it. So I got Shakur as fighter of the year.
okay, wow. How about you, Algeria?
I'll say Terrence Crawford.
Oh boy,
Oh man, go ahead, girl.
I'll say
well, give us your reasons why. We want to hear your reasons why.
The reason why I say that is because he showed and he dominated somebody who's a great fighter as well. He dominated each and every round, and he actually proved to the world like that he's the best. But my favorite male fighter is Tank, but because he wasn't active enough, I'll say Terrence Crawford. But female wise, I'll say Katie Taylor as well.
Oh boy!
Wow.
You don't think it's the GOAT, Carissa Shield?
That's my favorite fighter, but I say Katie Taylor is because Katie Taylor had her first loss and she came back and won a rematch against the girl she lost to. So that's the only reason why I'm saying that. The people who have been more active.
Yeah, well, you got people in the chat room. Avery saying, I agree, Crawford. Yeah, you got people in the chat room saying they agree with you. How about you, Justin? What do you think?
About Terrence, I like Terrence too. Terrence, I think Terrence is pound for pound. Personally, I think Terrence is pound for pound. But
the best.
Yeah, I think you put him at any weight, any size. Like, you know, if he's big enough, obviously he ain't gonna fight, you know, Tyson Fury at 150 pounds. But if he's big enough, I feel like he's able to beat anybody.
Okay.
But really, I'm not, like, to be honest, I didn't really watch. I don't even know if he fought this. Maybe he fought one time that I know of this year, other than Spence. But a lot of people had a lot of doubts about that fight.
You had 2 great fighters. You know, Crawford, when he fought Spence, he just made him look at times like he didn't belong in the ring with him, and that's the talent and skill level in a big fight. From time to time that happens, but that was a huge fight. 2 great champions, and both of them matching the things that they did in the past head for head as being champions and undisputed champions. And Crawford just showed that he's far above the rest of the bunch. And Shakur Stevens, I think, Dustin, I think he's young enough. He's something for the future when all of that mixed up at 135 and 140 pounds. I believe if he can stay on the course of staying in shape, Shakur is probably going to be one of those pound for pound best, or the pound for pound best fighter in the world in the future, but not right now. He got a lot of growth. He made a lot of moves in there that he shouldn't have made that kept him a couple years back. So in a few years, Crawford, he's he's in the on that peak in the mountain before he goes over on the other side because the age factor is coming in. Shakur Stevens is that big rising star that you're going to see. Javante Davis is there, and the only thing that I say is for him and Devin Haney just to go in there and put both of their skills on it and let the cream rise to the top.
That's right.
And don't forget about Telavilla Lopez. Lopez is right there biting at the bit, and he should be in that mix. Great money fights, man, down in that. If they can put the egos aside and don't get paid what you deserve, but don't ask over an extreme where you just negotiate yourself out of the fight. I think there'd be mega paydays, and I think that there are fights that people want to see. And for Terrence Crawford, the only greatness that he should look for is Canelo Alvarez. Pound for pound, what you said, at any weight division, make it a catch weight. Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, 2 pound for pound kings. Let them go back at it in 2024. I think, man, a big holiday, Mexican holiday with Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, it'll drive pay-per-view out the box. Is because you get 2 great fighters, different weight class, but it doesn't mean nothing in the real scheme of things. Don't forget, Joe Louis fought somebody that was way underweight, and he was winning the whole fight until Joe Louis caught up with him in the last round and knocked him out. But on the scorecards, he was winning through the whole fight. So those catchweight fights are great fights, great matchups for the boxing fans when you have great fighters, and I think they should make that them kind of matches. That'd
be a crazy one to see.
Yes. So in international competition for the amateurs, have you yet been, Dustin, to the Pan Am Games, the World Games yet?
No, I haven't been into any international tournaments, any big international tournaments. I have some international experience with a team 2 teams that came. We were traveling from Ireland, so I fought Ireland a couple times, and then but not any big international experience. They had the Youth Worlds last year, and then they have it again this year coming up. But I wasn't gonna be able to fight in the Youth Worlds anymore, because this is my first elite tournament. And last year I didn't make the team for it, so I couldn't fight in the Youth Worlds. But then the Pan Ams, they have a team already that that's on Team USA and stuff like that, like the first for the Olympics. So they had that team go and fight in the Pan Ams like a month before, 2 months before the last tournament that we went to. So hopefully coming up, make the team again next year, qualify, and we'll be going internationally.
Well, I think you being the youngest, they should give you the opportunity to display that young talent you got and go over there and catch a Pan Am game, a world game, get the gold medal in both of them, man. Just add that into your repertoire. If they shouldn't do anything, they should, because you're young, bright, and talented and can fight, they should give you that opportunity, is because regardless of what happens, you can recover from that in your career. But where you're at now, they got to keep goal things in front of you so you can keep accomplishing your goals. And I think you can do it, Dustin, with your father who has an eye at a tagger. He knows what it takes to get you there, to keep you there, and number one, to get you to win. And I think they should give you that shot, man. The face, weren't you the face of USA Boxing at one time?
Yeah, for the Olympic trials, they post me up for a lot of the national tournaments, stuff like that. They always make posters. But for the Olympic trials, they had me right on the front of USA Boxing and Team USA as like the poster for the Olympic trials.
Wow.
Cool.
Nice.
Right, man. And they should give you that opportunity since you were the post, man. Give it your best, Dustin. Show them you can do it, champ. Algeria,
Absolutely.
look, how about you? Have you had any international experience?
So I never had any international experience such as fighting, but for my first time, I did have some international work, and I actually got to spar Katie Taylor this year.
Did
I
you?
did four. Yep, I did 4 rounds with her. It was great work.
Well, hey, look, I told you, man. People were telling me about you. They said you got a lot of talent, and you're colorful. So, and look, the sky's the limit. You know, when you sitting there number 3, I think you're going to get your opportunities. You know, sometimes things happen. People fall out. People don't want to travel. Put your show on the road and show them that you can do it because you're used to it. And that you can accomplish those type of dreams. There, I like to see you be a Pan American champ, a world champ, and number 1, get them Olympic golds, baby. Because ain't nobody winning them golds for the United States lately. And I think y'all two are the ones that are going to get. I think you're going to get it. I can hear it. And number 1, I'm going to say this right here on the World Boxing Review radio show, and I'm happy that y'all came on, is that, boy, do y'all know how to talk the game.
Yeah, they
And,
do.
and not too many young fighters can talk the game. A lot of guys can fight real well, but can't talk real well, and they can't talk the game. You two are going places because you can talk the game. You know the science, you know the matchups, and you know what looks good to the eye. And let me tell you what, that start when you can do that. Because when they stick a mic in your face in the winner's circle, if you can't say nothing, how do people know anything about you? Y'all two are doing a great
Right.
job. What do you think, Discombobulating? What do you think, man? You get in front of millions of people, man, and now what do you think they got it as a fighter? What do you think?
It's no doubt about it. And like you said, it's those intangible things, you know, when to say something, when not to. And you know, I'm in love with all things Rochester of people trying to do something. So I'm gonna say this to you, Algeria, with tough love now. I heard you had a meltdown at the airport and it wasn't good. So you got to be careful. See how it got back to me? That means it got to some other people too. And so you're in the spotlight now. So you got to be real careful of how you react to people who push your buttons. If they're toxic around you, let it go. But don't let the world know. Because from what I heard, you said you're going to drag this person around the airport and all that. I'm like,
oh no, that didn't happen at the airport.
But it happened.
Yeah, it happened. But it happened with people. It's like in my circle. So it wasn't around anybody. It wasn't around no boxers. It was in the circle. So it happened in a whole different city at a hotel. But it wasn't at no airport.
Well, remember this, and I'm going to give you this word of advice because we all make mistakes, and that's a part of growing. We're all going to make mistakes. I don't care who you are, what you do, or how you do it. You're going to have trial and error. You're going to make mistakes, but you learn and you grow. And some of that are called growing pains to get where you got to go. So you'll be well polished and groomed for where you're going on the top end. Just keep that in. It ain't all about always thinking about on the outside. It's about how you kindle the fire the inside. And when you come out, it's polished.
Right.
And when you polish that stuff on the inside, that's when you become a great champion. But these were some of the things people were telling me about you, that you got all this talent. But you got growing pains, and you're going to get there. That's all we got to say, that you're going to get where you got to go. And when you get there, you're going to be able to handle it, young lady. And this is what Discombobulating Jones is saying to you, that control all of that so you can get what you got to go. And that's how you're going to become a major star. It ain't all about thinking out on the outside. It's, pulling somebody to the side, sometimes in a room where nobody else is around, say what you got to say to them. And when you come back outside the room, you're a friend like nothing never even happened.
Right.
And that's called maturity.
Right.
So,
Where's the wisdom?
and yes, and
Where's the
you'll
wisdom?
have that, because all of us done had our moments. I done had many a moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm telling you from experience, you got growing pains and keep on growing, learn from your mistakes, and just stay up high. You're going to be a champion.
And she is. And that's why I'm telling her that, because I want to see her, on that platform. And for both she and Dustin, I don't know if you know, but this might be the last Olympics for boxing. So we got to keep an eye on that. Did you hear about that, Snowell?
Yeah, I heard about it.
But Jason, you heard about that
think
too?
There's
a lot going on with that right now. But I think that 2028 is going to happen.
I hope it does.
Yeah, me too, for sure. Yeah. It's terrible.
Well,
I
think other organizations, if USA Boxing don't make it happen, that there's other organizations that are sitting in the background that can pick up the talent, that know how to organize boxing second to none. Different organizations that can take that and make it fly, and plus getting people to put up money. That's the main thing. When something falls apart, it's about money. I think boxing, the great history and all the great champions that came through the boxing program of the Olympics and all of that, and how they turned out to be great citizens, such as Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Leonard. The list is long, find it but distinguished. Joe Frazier, that became Olympians, Evander Holyfield, Meldrick Taylor, Mark Breland, those guys. The list is fine, and the way the people turned out is that the amateur boxing, Olympic boxing, it has its problem, but it can be worked out by corporate sponsorships to put up the money and make those things happen for amateurs, and to bring that gold home, baby. One thing we get spoiled in the United States, Discombobulating Jones, is that we had so much success in amateur sports with all the gold medals that we win in swimming, boxing, tennis, you name it, man, basketball. We win so many medals in boxing. People in the United States get fun.
Who was the last one, Snowell? I can't remember our last gold medalist in boxing. Who was it?
Well,
Clarissa Shields, maybe?
Clarissa Shields.
That's exactly who it was. The GWO.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Probably.
She was our last one. Well, who was the male? Who was the last male?
Gold medal? I don't know. That's a good question. They got some silvers.
I know that. I think I know.
Keyshawn Davis with the silver medal.
But the gold medal, I think, was Andre Ward.
Andre Ward. I believe it was. Yeah.
That's 20-something years ago.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. So you two, y'all got to do it for us. Bring it back home. That's right. Have a ticker tape parade for you in Rochester.
Oh, man. That's the one right there.
Well, let me say this also for both of you, especially you, Algeria. So I've been talking to the mayor of Rochester, and he was supposed to be at the Hall of Fame banquet, but he couldn't make it that night. But I told him that we need to have young people speak to other young people about that violence y'all got going on, because that's nuts. So you two could be the ambassadors for conflict resolution and anger management and the whole thing. So I want you to keep that in mind when I roll this out to the mayor with the two of you at the forefront of it, because you know what's happening in Rochester. Man, Aaron, they killing each other like it's going out of style, man.
Well,
over nothing.
Yeah, well, we just have to learn to love one another and love someone like you love yourself. And everything grows in stages, man. And thinking on the outside and dealing with anger management and those things is a major problems in all the cities across
It
America,
is. It is.
and it has to change.
It
Okay,
is.
we got 3 minutes. Is uh, anything someone like to say in closing?
Well, thanks for having us on.
Well, you're welcome. How about you, Algeria? What do you want to say in closing?
Thank you for having me on the show, and it was nice talking to y'all. And thank you for the words of encouragement and the wise information you gave me.
Well, you're welcome, young lady. Just hard work and discipline, and you're gonna get there. Got a lot of talent.
Yeah, thank you.
Keep it alive. Keep that talent alive. And God bless you. In times of trouble, in times of need, He never leaves you nor forsake you. He's always by your side.
Amen.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
you got to
true.
get down on your hands and knees and pray a little bit,
That's right.
and you'll see how things change. Thank you for coming on the show. How about you, Dustin, in close?
I want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I always love doing these podcasts and interviews and stuff like that. I like talking and telling people about my life and stuff like that. And I wanna ask what you think about Charlo. I want to ask what you think about Crawford and Charlo.
Crawford and Charlo, great matchup. And you're going to find that Crawford would do the same thing to Charlo that he did to the rest of them. He's just a good offensive fighter, a good defensive fighter, and most of all, Crawford is always setting people up to counter with a clear shot. He can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside. His ring generalship is second to none. But his greatest tool is his jab, because his jab, different style jabs he uses. He sets a lot of people up with different types of jabs, and they can't handle that fundamental tool. Is the hardest thing in boxing to get away from when you possess it, is the jab. And he got it. Crawford got it second to none. But that's what I think. I think Crawford, without a doubt. Okay, Discombobulating, we're going to let you close up here, man. This has been a magnificent show, man.
It has, and for the three of them that don't know, I've been admiring Aaron for close to 40 years now. When we met through Don King. And Aaron, you've been nothing but a stand-up guy, and you're an icon in your own right. And I just want to congratulate you, man, on all you've accomplished and going to accomplish, especially with the Jack Johnson exhibit that you take all around the world. So I certainly want to be part of that as well. And let me say this, that I think we can all feel that the energy and the synergy is real. So for all the boxing news that you can use through and through, that's true. Always tune in with Aaron Snowell on the World Boxing Review. Peace.
Oh, man, Discombobulating Jones. We got to end it with that. Hey, look, I want to thank all of y'all, man. It was talking. Thank you, Dustin, Algeria, Jason, and Discombobulating Jones, man. Thank all of y'all, man. Man, wasn't this a great show? Look, man, they're lighting up the comments in the chat room. Thank each and every one of y'all for tuning into the World Boxing Review.
Feliz Navidad.
Happy New Year's. You're right, man. Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, and love to each and every one of you. Season's greetings, peace be unto you. Thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame Trainer of Champions. And we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. Thank you for tuning in.
God bless everyone. Peace.
God bless.
Peace.